So your kids practice the piano, they go to soccer practice, dance practice, all to perfect a skill. But my next guest says it's important adults practice too. Happiness trainer Heidi Alldredge says that practice is necessary for growth, and growth is a quality of happiness. And Heidi joins me with ways to incorporate practice into your life. And so you're just saying it doesn't matter what we practice per se?
Yeah, practice is really important because we have these neural pathways in our brain that's kind of like a forest trail that's all worn down. And so when we want to learn something new, it's like blazing a new forest trail. So we have to keep practicing, keep trying, and we can train our brain and rewire it a little bit by just practicing and get that new trail in our brain.
And like we said, we make our kids do it and we have a schedule for them. Is that kind of what we do? How do we learn how to incorporate it into our lives?
Yeah, there are so many different tactics and different ways that we can learn to be a little bit better at practicing. And one of the ways we can do it is to
writing a list. Yeah. I know that seems so basic, but sometimes we're trying to find our passions and we maybe don't even know what they are.
That's exactly it.
Write them down.
Yes, that's exactly it. We need to write down our passions because we have this myth that happiness is found in things and it's found out there, and really happiness is inside of us. And so we need to look inside of us and think, what do we enjoy? And then practice that. So when we write a list of our passions, it gives us that key to know exactly what to zone in on. And it might feel a little overwhelming, like passions. I'm just trying to keep the humans alive and feed the dog. I don't even know what my passions are. So start with things that interest you or things that you might like or that you might enjoy, and start with that and just get really clear on what you like, and then you'll find that you can elevate your happiness by doing things you actually enjoy.
And I like the idea of maybe doing that with a friend or family, because they sometimes even notice what you like more than you do.
Oh,
They're
right.
Well, Mom, you're always doing this or this or this, right?
That's right. That's exactly it.
So your next tip is just to do 1% better. I'm guessing most of us think we have to do more than that.
Right. And that's the problem with changing a habit or changing that thinking, is we think I have to do an all or nothing thing. But I'd like to challenge people to just change that little bit, that pivot, that 1%. Like if you're oh, I'm going to stop eating out. Well, you're not going to really stop eating out, but you can stop eating out one day a week and start with that. Or you want to read more, so carry your book with you or keep it on the kitchen counter or on the couch of places you'll actually use the book. So just that little change instead of leaving it in the back bedroom, or different tips like that, where you just can make one little change and it'll help you practice better.
So when we're thinking about those passions and how we are going to practicing, should we be specific about how much time? Because we don't want to overdo it. Right. So is that something good to write down also?
Yes, and you know what you need to do is set timers or reminders. So if you were going to try to remember to do something really important, how would you remember to do that? You write it in your phone or something. Yes. You put an alert, remember to do this. And we can do that to be able to practice things, put a reminder in our phone. And sometimes it can be a reminder that just says, take 3 deep breaths right now, or text your friend, or write down something you're grateful for. We can actually use our phone to keep us on track with the things that we need to do to be able to practice, to elevate our happiness a little bit. I used to write things on my hand and have sticky notes all over my house and my mirror and my car, but now we have these great devices, so we need to utilize them and use them to keep track of what we're trying to work on and remind us until it is that new pathway in our brain and we can remember easier.
And incorporating that to your previous one about being 1% better, is this something where maybe the first time we set a timer for so much time and then the next time we're doing more and more, and eventually that 1% is going to be more than 1%?
Exactly.
Okay.
Because we build on that. And sometimes it's kind of funny. I had a goal once that I was going to start running, walking more often. So I'm just going to walk to the end of the street. And then by the time I did that, I'm well, I'm already here. I might as well go around the block. So sometimes when we're doing that little 1% of I'm going to eat better, I'm not going to go out as much, I'm going to eat more at home, then you'll start changing, and you'll start eating home even more, and you'll start meal prepping, and it builds on itself. But it just takes that one little change to get your mind to go, I can do this. And there's a new pathway.
I was going to ask if this is kind of similar to how we talk about setting our kids up for success. Don't put the bar so high that you're going to fail. Is that kind of the same concept?
That's exactly it, because we won't do it. We know we won't do it. If we're I'm going to eat better, and you just throw it out there, you're like, no, I'm really not, But if you're like, I'm gonna eat better one day this week, you can do that.
You can do that.
Yeah.
Your last one is contribute to something great. What does that mean?
Yes, I love that one because it's such a simple thing that we can do to elevate our happiness by contributing to something different than us. It gives us a chance to give our money, our talents, our time, and even our care to something beyond ourselves. And studies have shown that you can actually elevate your happiness because it gives you purpose. It gives you that joy and fulfillment in your life when you think kind of outside yourself.
Now, does this go beyond our family? Because we're all contributing to our family. Does this need to be something outside of that, or could we incorporate that as well?
It can be your family, but it definitely is better if it even is something that interests you, something that you can find a passion in even. And it can be, either your money or your time. It doesn't have to just be money to contribute to something. It can just be something that you're interested in, that you want to help be better. Anything that you can kind of get behind that's not yourself, because that's the thing, we get kind of caught up in ourselves.
And I think as we're trying to discover our passions, though, that might be difficult. Do you have any examples of things you've seen people find to contribute to that were outside of themselves that helped?
Oh, yes, all the time. I interview people daily that have amazing passions and things that they've gotten behind because they've actually dealt with something very difficult in their life. And so they'll go through a really hard challenge or traumatic experience, and then they're like, okay, my child has died from a drug overdose, so now I'm going to start a support group of helping parents who have children addicted to drugs, So it's that just beyond yourself, and you can really help other people and get outside yourself and change the world.
I have seen people do that as well. So oftentimes you need to look at your own experiences to know, how can I contribute elsewhere?
Absolutely, yes. And it's what you're interested in too. You can look at your own experiences, but you can also think of like, what gets you excited? What's something you can get behind and get passionate about? And then your happiness flows to that.
All right, thank you so much. We are going to post your links to our links, but where's the best place for people to find you online?
Yeah, I'm actually teaching a happy class at UVU. I start on March 15th, so that's a good place to find me. Sign up for that, but also it's Heidi's Lemonade Stand. It's a podcast. Heidi's Lemonade Stand's my website, and also social media, Facebook, Instagram, Heidi's Lemonade Stand.
I still love that, the happy class we can all take.
Yes,
thanks, Heidi.
Take it.
We will post links to where you can find more information and helpful tips from Heidi on our website, studio5.ksl.com. It's just a great resource for everything you see here on Studio 5.